What's going on, everybody? I'm Mike Berlin. You're watching Wild Fed Family, and today is September 23rd, 2023, and it is time to replant the fall garden. So this is actually the start of the second gardening season, and you got the spring and you got the fall, and here we are in the fall. Now, I am in zone 7B, if that gives you a little context. So it's right around mid to end September that I start to plant it. So I got a little bit of work to do. I'm going to show you what I do to prep it, what I'm planting, and basically how I keep vegetables growing in my garden year round. So as you can see, looking down this garden bed, it is slap full of weeds. So all of this needs to come out. And after doing this twice a year for the last 5 years, I've gotten pretty fast at it. So check this out. I know, it takes a little practice, but you'll get there one day. Well, the entire garden bed is done, but I have all these piles on the outside, and I need to get them cleaned up. And just like that, we are done with cleanup. But don't be fooled, none of this behind me is going to waste. I have a interesting disposal method. You know, although it wasn't my intent, I did end up growing about 2 days worth of goat food as well. So, the garden doubled up for me. All right, beep beep. So it's all cleaned up, and this is kind of what we're left with. There's a good layer of fine pine shavings, and then there's just some loose dirt left over up underneath it. Now, I'm gonna leave everything like this is. I'm not gonna till it, I'm not gonna disturb it. But I am gonna make some additions to it and build it back up, because in this raised bed it settles a little bit. But before we do any of that, I gotta show you some other critters that I got working for me. So if you are unfamiliar with these creatures right here, let me tell you about them. They're called chickens. Basically, all they do is eat, they lay eggs, and they poop. Well, I eat the eggs and I use the poop. So let's go get some chicken poop. Now I could go all through their coop and rake up a bunch of that stuff on the ground, but there's really no need to, because the chicken coop needs to be cleaned anyway, and they do plenty of pooping right here where they sleep. Now, on top of all the good stuff that's commonly found in almost all compost and fertilizers and manures, chicken poop is really high in nitrogen. So what we're growing in the fall is typically going to be big leafy greens like lettuce, cabbage, broccoli, things of that sort. So big leafy greens require a lot of nitrogen, and this is exactly what they need. So here's just one tote of that brown dusty gold, but I got about another one in there. So I'll see you at the garden. First layer, chicken poop. And all I'm gonna do is kind of rake this in, spread it out, distribute it evenly. And you don't want to put too much down all at once, because it's pretty potent stuff and it goes a long way. Well, the chicken manure is spread from this rake down, and that is roughly 99 square feet of fertilization just from one small chicken coop. But I need to bring the soil level up a little bit, because like I said before, it kind of sinks during the summer, and it's got to come up about 4 more inches. So we're headed up to the topsoil pile. So this right here is a topsoil pile that I had dumped in the spring, and as summer continued on, there were some weeds and grasses that grew up in it, but that's not really a problem. So come out here about a week before and spray it down with a vinegar, salt, and Dawn dish detergent solution, and it'll be dead in a day or two. So rather than pulling all of these up and disposing of them, you might as well make the most of it, do the easy thing, and that's burn it. So when you burn like this, you're doing two things. One, as the ashes fall in, it increases the potassium in the soil. And as many of you know, you need potassium, phosphorus, and nitrogen. Those are your three big ones for anything to be healthy in your garden. The last thing it does is it kills off and burns up any sort of seeds that have fallen off of the grasses and everything that was growing on your dirt pile. So you kill off that too. But I need to get this dirt down to that garden. So everywhere that I had the chicken manure put down, I went ahead and I topped it off with soil. So I'm getting a little bored, just hauling soil down here constantly. And this is what I got done so far. So I'm gonna start planting some stuff. Now, on this far end, this is the shadiest part, and you can see it's getting the afternoon shade right now. And this is where I'm gonna start my seeds, stuff like the spinach, the arugula, lettuce, radishes, etc. And as I move up into full sun areas, I'm going to start with stuff that's already a little bit acclimated. And whoa, there's a hole there. What I have here is some starts. I have cabbage, I have romaine, red romaine, collard greens, all sorts of stuff. So fall vegetables. And as I get into the high sun areas, I'm gonna stick those in the ground too. But before I get carried away, I still have one more step, and that is to add an organic fertilizer. And if you've seen any of my other videos on the gardening stuff and soil prep, you know that I prefer the organic fertilizer over the industrial commercial pelletized fertilizer. One, because it is a slow release. Two, I just trust this a whole lot more than I trust a pellet that says it has something in it. So I'm going to sprinkle this on, work it in with my hands, and then we're going to put some stuff in the ground. All right, seeds are in the ground, and I have cabbage all the way up to what I've done. So right here is just a bag of fine pine shavings from Tractor Supply. And all I'm gonna do on these seeded areas is just lightly kind of dust it on. And all that does is help keep some surface moisture close to the seeds, protects it while letting sunlight in. Now when I do the cabbages, I'm gonna do it a little bit heavier because they already have an established root system. But this is pretty much it. When they start coming in, you can infill a little bit more to help retain the soil moisture. But yeah, pretty straightforward here. What's up, guys? I'm back, and it's the next day, Sunday afternoon, and I just got done replanting the fall garden. So let me show you what I got. Over here is a little bit of an experiment. And this is some elephant garlic that I got from Walmart. And I just broke up the cloves, stuck them in the ground, threw some mulch over them, and we'll see what happens for next year. Next is going to be the collard greens. So I have a dozen collard green plants planted. Same thing with the broccoli, a dozen more of those, dozen more of romaine, with some 6 red romaine and 18 cabbages that work their way down through here. So moving down to the seeded stuff, I have some radishes planted in this little patch. I have Swiss chards. This is my spinach patch right here. Next I have green onion, and over here is some gourmet greens that I mixed with arugula. Now this is just a small example of the things that you can plant in the fall. Now all of that is going to vary a little bit depending on what zone you are, so make sure you look into your planting times. But look, starting your garden doesn't have to happen in the spring. You can start it in the fall too, and you're gonna have fresh vegetables all year long. And I mean, why not? This right here only cost me $150 between the soil, the mulch, the fertilizers, the plants, the seeds, everything. So for $150 I can have fresh vegetables all year long. But my basic opinion is it's pretty much worth it. Now you'll spend $150 going to the grocery store and buying some, you know, Pop-Tarts and Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and that's just crap junk food. So go ahead, take a weekend, put a little time in, and yeah, it's good food. Grow your own food and you're gonna be happy. But hey, all I want to say is thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, and I'm just gonna keep on making videos, and one of the videos is gonna be an update on this garden and how the fall garden is going. But yeah, I got some deer shanks braising in the oven right now, and I got to tend to them. So until the next one, I'll see you later.